looks like a daycare or like a day camp. Uh, I would be, as they say out here on the prairies, off the rev limiter with these progressive women thinking that they can co-parent my child right into terror apology. What a disgrace. This is really one of the concerns with modern public education is that there are so many educators who think that it is not just their goal, but also their right to instill other people's children with their ideology. You know how you get to instill children with your ideology? Have some of your own, you barren self-sterilized weirdos, and stay away from other people's kids with your nonsense. But no, they just can't help themselves. The sense of entitlement is just off the hook. We've got another clip from yesterday. Efron caught this also. An elderly lady, which is just so on the nose with these Hamas apologists. Hamas abducted elderly women and mothers, grandmothers. And so why would they respect yours here in Canada, right? So they harass a local, I don't want to call her elderly. She's a woman of a certain vintage. I hope that when I am a woman of a certain vintage, you will be kind with your descriptions of me. And I feel like I'm getting there fast. But she's shoved around by this anti-Israel mob. You can hear them telling her to go back home. Could you imagine? Okay, I'm old enough to remember when it was like a KKK slogan to tell Black people to go back to Africa. And yet these people perfectly fine in a public place saying, go back home, go back to Poland. Excuse me, racist psychos. Let's show this clip, just a little bit more of this lady being mobbed by these
Let's make way for us to exit. Stay your ground. We're not going to let anyone here to disrupt us. We're here for Palestine. She's trying to make a scene. We're here for Gaza. We're here for our people. Let's make a way. We're gonna stand still here. We're standing still. We're standing still here. We're not moving.
Zionist out.
Go outside. Go outside.
Leave us alone. 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 Leave us alone.
You know what? Good for her. She stood her ground. She refused to be bullied by these maniacs. Did you see that sign they're holding right beside them? By any means necessary. Oh, really? What means? Rape, murder, butchery, abduction of babies, killing of babies? Of course, by any means necessary. Good for this lady, though, who refused to be intimidated by these jerks. Professional hobos. We've got another one. University of Toronto's anti-Israel encampment after dark. There was a 10 p.m. deadline from the school to vacate the grounds. So let's show that. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. Kudos to Efron for putting in what must have been a 20-hour day yesterday. Mostly out there by himself, with these apologists for just the most appalling sort of political violence you've ever seen. And I've spoken to people who have seen the footage, and I think it has damaged them in a way that you can't even imagine. Uh, but yeah, they don't care. I mean, and the university is private property, I guess, technically speaking. Where's Justin Trudeau on this? Like I said, we've got the Hitler Youth 2.0 doing campus sit-ins and intimidating Jewish students on campus. Have we even, like, I'm not sure what it is that FinTrack does around here. So remember how quick Chrystia Freeland, who, by the way, in that Trudeau clip this morning that we showed you, after the show's over, go back and watch. Just her little like bobblehead just jerking around over there. She's like one of those inflatable waving dancey guys, just beside Justin Trudeau, just freaking out every time he talks. But remember how quickly they froze the bank accounts of anybody who gave $20 to a trucker? Who's funding all of this? Who's buying the tents? Who's buying the signage? Could it be Iran? Could it be IRGC-backed radicals? Have we even bothered to look? I don't know what it is that FinTrack does around here anymore, except make sure that farmers don't get financing from Farm Credit Canada because they bought a trucker a coffee on the Freedom Convoy.
Campus protests that we're seeing regarding
Take me down. I think Freeland is where I am.
They're growing at universities. We've seen them prop up recently at University of Toronto encampments. Premier Legault has called for police to remove them in McGill. Do you support these encampments staying on campus?
I think we have to remember what universities are. Universities are places of learning. Universities are places where the freedom of speech, the freedom of ideas, the challenge of debate, of dialogue, of discussion about how to shape the world, how to see the world, how to go on out after university or college and lead the world are a core part of what campuses are all about. At the same time, we need to make sure that as part of that, everyone can feel safe on campus. Whether you're a Jewish student, whether you're Palestinian, whether you have strong feelings on one side or the other. And on that, we have to trust both universities to manage their campuses right and local police of jurisdiction to do their work to make sure that everyone is safe.
Follow up. So I take it, do you just think the police should decide whether they should be removed or not? Are you concerned about violence, as we've seen in the United States, a conflict between different sides? It sounds like you don't really want to weigh in one way or another about whether they should stay.
Well, I have been weighing in on this issue of the angst, the anguish, the anger, the fear that Canadians have been feeling for months and months and months since the October 7th attacks that have led to feelings of deep uncertainty in the Jewish community around the rise of anti-Semitism, but also deep, deep concerns amongst the Muslim communities around the humanitarian catastrophe that's going on in Gaza right now, and the rise in Islamophobia. These are things that are challenging for a diverse and pluralistic society like Canada to deal with, but we must, and we do that through conversations, we do that through making sure that everyone is protected, that laws are enforced, that people take on their responsibilities to create spaces for conversation in which everyone can feel safe. And nowhere is that more important, that everyone can feel safe, having a full range of conversations and debate and dialogue and challenges than on university and college campuses.
It's like he was assigned a book report of like 1,200 words, but he didn't read the book. And so he's just talking but he doesn't actually say a thing. He's having conversations. What does that mean? We're having dialogue. Okay. What does that mean? We're going to make sure the laws are enforced. Are you? When? Where? Then he goes on to prattle on about Islamophobia. This has nothing to do with Islamophobia. Jewish students are being intimidated on campus. They're chanting genocidal slogans on Canadian streets. The Hitler Youth are running amok on the lawns of the synagogues. And Justin Trudeau's like, we're having conversations. What do you want me to do, buddy? Chill out. Great. Good leadership, bro. You invoked the Emergencies Act, a wartime law that should be reserved for the likes of a 9/11 level event or a Pearl Harbor level event. You invoked that on bouncy castles, on public property in the nation's capital. Public property where people are supposed to go to protest. Where the hell else are they supposed to go to protest? The government, except like where the federal government is, in front of the federal government. And you invoked a wartime law on them. You treated them like terrorists. We have actual terrorist apologists out there just doing their thing. And Justin Trudeau's like, you know what? It's a university. People are supposed to engage in civil debate. Does that look like civil to you?